Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, Thursday night, let's go to Kansas. And with us today is Senator Marshall from the great state of Kansas. And Senator, tonight the president has a big speech. Nobody really knows what he's going to say at the end. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, John, always great to be with you. I think the president's going to talk about the importance of election integrity and how important it is that people show an ID when they vote, that they show proof of citizenship when they register. And then he's going to mention something about mail-in ballots as well. But election integrity is the backbone of every republic. I know that the House of Representatives is working on something through reconciliation that'll nip on the edges of it, but I bet he's going to put Democrats on the record. Why won't 10 Democrats vote in favor of voter ID? I really think he'll touch on Iran, but I really think this is about the importance of election integrity.
Now, election integrity is so important for November, and what happened the last few days in the Congress. 100 congressmen voted against giving money to Israel, and then in the Senate, you guys voted. You couldn't come to a resolution about talking about the Defense Act. What does that mean?
Right. Horribly disappointing. The NDA, the National Defense Authorization Act, it's done every year on a bipartisan basis. Democrats, Republicans work together on this hand in glove again this year, but Chuck Schumer will not allow Democrats to support this. This is how the military gets funding every year. This is where it all starts in this authorization process. It had a raise for the troops is something I really like in there as well. But I think This is the first time ever that the Democrats have.
I think it's been 70 years since that happened.
Yeah, it certainly in my, so we'll say in my lifetime, it's not happened yet. So it's disappointing. And, we talk about that the Republican Party is the party of prosperity and security. This is the security part of that. We want secure borders. We want peace through strength. We want a strong military. We want your families to be safe. And it all starts with this particular bill. But the Democrats are in this mode. This is the first step as they get ready for September 30th to shut down the government.
And, I don't understand why the Democrats were against stopping all the drug boats from coming in. Have you ever understood that philosophy on that?
No, well, they hate Trump. That's all it amounts to, John. They hate Donald Trump so much. They would be happy to see us in a economic recession and some type of a world war. They would gladly have Americans suffer if it would mean giving them the chance to impeach Donald Trump, and that's what this election's about. So they're going to, if they can just somehow, get back the majority in the House of Representatives, regardless of what happens in the Senate, they could have one impeachment trial after the other. So if it doesn't make sense to you and me, if it's not logical, right, then it has to be politics. So this is about politics.
At the end of the day, if they can't vote for the war, how are we going to get them to vote for the Voting Act? Because the only thing that's keeping the Democrats in office is by, for instance, I've heard of counties with 500,000 people in the county, and they send out 1 million ballots.
Yeah, well, the significant thing I would say is Americans don't have confidence in election integrity. And if you don't have confidence in that, you feel like your votes could be canceled by an illegal immigrant or a person that died 3 years ago. When they send out unsolicited ballots, they lose what I call a chain of custody, something that's just as important as evidence in a trial. So I think that's everyone's concern. And flipping it the other way, 90% of Americans think voter ID is a good idea. So we need to hang the Democrats with this issue. We need to get them on the record. I'm asking our Senate leadership to bring just a bill that all it says is requires voter ID. Get them on record. The fact that we can't get 10 or 15 Democrats on record voting in favor of voter ID, I think says everything that America needs to know.
I agree with you 110%. And every American that loves America has to come out and vote because they have to realize what's going on on the Democratic side. The Socialist Party is taking over the Democratic Party, and there's nobody that stands up and says enough is enough, and we're not going to allow that.
Yeah, well, the way to stand up and say enough is enough is to exercise your constitutional duty to get out and vote. And by the way, any of those Democrat socialists that have won their primaries in New York, we'd love to have them out in Kansas to campaign for my opponent. I think when Kansas can't even believe this. I mean, even my Democrat friends in Kansas cannot believe it's just not socialism. Socialism is the mainstream of the Democrat Party right now. Socialism means grow a big government, raise your taxes. There's a government program for everything. But these folks are beyond that. They want to burn the place to the ground. They want open borders, no immigration laws. They want non-citizens voting in elections. They're trying to burn the republic down, and that's exactly why we got to get out and vote in November to keep this republic.
Senator Roger Marshall from the great state of Kansas, thank you for coming on this Thursday evening, and we're going to catch up with you again real soon.
Thanks, John. I enjoyed it.